Yeah, what's up YouTube? I'm DJ Philly and welcome to Master Crafters. Today we are going through a whole ton of betas that have just been released this week and last week. We are going through 4 different betas from Bedrock and Java, so let's get straight into it because we have some exciting news to share with you. So we will quickly go over the few Bedrock betas that have just been released because they don't have that many features introduced, but they do have some interesting ones. So as you can see on the screen, 1.16.200.53, which was released last week, actually added a audio settings, and it is like the Java editions. We actually now have all these different audio settings, and this is great for content creators and people who just want to mess around with the sounds. And it also added a RTX button in the menu, so who knows, they might be getting ready to finish RTX soon. I believe it is coming 2021 sometime, hopefully. We're just hoping, but we'll see. Also, another Bedrock beta was just released called 1.16.200.55, and it just adds a new feature which will let you guys know if your driver or graphics drivers are outdated or not, and it also fixes some bugs. So let's go into the more interesting part here on Java Edition. So first up is 1.16.4. This is the official update that was just released a couple weeks ago, and it adds a new feature called the player screen. And this is where you can actually hide different members. So if you don't like someone and someone's spamming in the chat here, you can just go over to this and you can hide messages from this user. You can also see all of the users that are hidden and the ones that are blocked as well. So you can just block them if they're spamming or they're putting hateful speech out there. So that is a new and cool feature for these giant servers like the Hive as we are in right now. Now, there was a bunch of bug fixes that were also introduced into 1.16.4, and I will leave the Minecraft wiki page in the description for you guys who want to check it out. But let's get to the more interesting and new stuff from the Caves and Cliffs beta. Now, the first snapshot that we're going to be looking at is 20W45A, and it introduced these called the Amethyst crystals and blocks. So as you can see, we have 4 different types of crystals: the small, medium, large, and the amethyst cluster. Now these will actually grow on this block right here called the budding amethyst. Now you can find these underground in big clusters right here, and they will also be surrounding by a block of amethyst. And a cool thing about this is that the crystals in the block can actually be broken, so you can use it in your builds, but the budding crystal cannot actually be broken by silk touch. It will just won't drop any blocks or anything. Now all of these blocks will generate underground in big clusters, and we can actually show you this right now in spectator mode as we go underground right here, and there is actually one right down in here, so they will spawn in spherical shapes right here. And there we go, we got it all lit up and everything. So as you can see, it sort of spawns in this shape here, and we can see the different shards growing out of the budding amethyst as well. So this is a pretty cool feature. Now, as you can see in my hotbar, we also have an amethyst shard, and these are obtained by breaking the amethyst clusters, which is the biggest one that generates from budding amethyst. But these amethyst shards can actually be used to be crafted with a whole ton of new stuff that we'll get to in later. Next, we have 2 new blocks called Calcite and Tough, and these 2 blocks don't actually have any use. They're purely decorational for right now, but they will spawn around the amethyst spheres, and you may have seen them down there. So they haven't actually any use just yet, but that might change in future betas as we see the new betas roll out. And now we have a new block called the candle. Now this is actually the original candle that you usually get, and you can also dye them with the 16 different dye colors. Now the cool thing about these is that you can actually light them with a flint and steel, and there'll be a little fire particle effects as you light these candles. Another really cool thing that Mojang has introduced is that you can actually put candles on cakes. So if it's someone's birthday, you can actually light it and then blow a wish, whoops, or blow your cake off. Another cool feature is that you can actually combine candles. So you can put in up to 4 different candles, just like the sea pickles, but you cannot actually put different colors together. That might change. I'm hoping it might change. So you can put different colors in different groups, but this is a really neat feature that Mojang has put in, and of course, you can light them all up as well. And now we have a really cool block called the copper ore. Now you can actually see this generate in your world, and it is a really cool block because you can actually get copper ingot, and you can use these copper ingots to create a whole variety of different blocks. So as you can see, we have 4 different stages of this block, and because this block can actually weather over time, so if you leave it out for so long, it will actually turn into these different stages here. And we also have different varieties. We have the copper block, we have the cut copper, we got the stairs, and of course the slabs as well. Now, it usually takes from 50 to 82 Minecraft days to go from one stage to another, so it can take up to around 200 Minecraft days to get all the way to this stage here. But to stop it in a certain stage so that it doesn't oxidize to another stage, what you can actually do is wax it here. So these are actually the waxed blocks of copper. They look the exact same, but it actually stops it from the oxidation state from rolling to the next stage. And you can do this with a honeycomb and the block of your choice. So say if you want to take this block called the semi-weathered copper block, a really long name, and you want it to stay in this stage right here without it going to the next stage. Well, you just get out a crafting table, you take out your honeycomb, and you wax it, and we have the waxed semi-weathered copper. So these blocks are really cool for you guys who love to build because they have a humongous variety of different colors and different block shapes. Now, copper isn't just used for decorational purposes, it can also be used to create a lightning bolt. So this is a really cool block, as if lightning strikes or tries to strike in a circular area around the lightning rod, it will actually strike right here on the lightning rods. We just have a little demonstration with commands right here. It will do something like this. So if you have a house made out of wood or any type of wood structure, it won't actually get burnt because it's using the lightning rod. Now, as you can see, we did have the ground burn just a little, but that shouldn't really happen when the lightning rod is actually in effect. I just had to use commands because, well, we don't actually have a natural generating lightning storm. Now, another really cool block that has been in this update is called the Tinted Glass. Now, as you can see, it's pretty dark, and that is because it will not actually let light through. So I was doing a little bit of experimenting right here, and as you can see, the middle block right in there does not actually have any glass, and it doesn't actually let natural light go through it, so you can really do some amazing stuff with your builds if you want to have different shadow effects or different lighting effects as well. Now the next thing we actually have is called the bundle, and it is right here in my hand. Now this is a really cool little item that you can get in the new update, which will be coming out here soon, and it can actually store different items in up to 64 items. So if we go into my inventory here, we have 26 polished andesite and just a bunch of powdered or powered rails. So what you can do with the bundle is you can actually put all of these items here by right clicking Now, for some reason, you can't actually spam the right click, or you can't hover over it. You have to do it one at a time. They might fix that later on, but as you can see, if we eventually get over here and then we collect the powdered rails here, or powered rails, we actually have up to 64 items. Now, this can store up to 64, but it can store whatever items that you can have in your inventory. So say you have a bunch of flowers that are just taking up inventory space, well, you can actually put them all in a bundle and it'll just take up one inventory space. So it is a really, really cool addition to the game. And if you guys are wondering, as of now, no, you cannot put shulker boxes in bundles. And the last thing that we have here introduced in 20W45A is the Spyglass item. This is a super awesome item that has been added to the game, and it actually acts as the zoom feature that you may have known from different mods that you can use in the Java edition. So now you can actually zoom in vanilla Minecraft, which is a really, really cool addition. Now I have seen on Twitter from the Minecraft makers is that, as you can see, it has a circular area, and I believe they are going to make it square instead, just to make it feel more Minecrafty. But I think this is really cool. You can actually see mobs, if there were mobs over there, as well as other cool stuff in the distance. So this is a really interesting feature being added into Minecraft. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below of all of these features. Now, for you Java players out there were some other really interesting changes in the update, including you can put lava in cauldrons. The grass path is actually named to dirt path, and you can actually make dirt paths out of different things now. So say you can make them out of dirt, coarse dirt, mycelium, podzol, all of that good stuff. And all of the different rails and stuff can now be waterlogged in Java just as it can in Bedrock. So if you do want to check out all of those changes, it'll be in the description. And finally, we have 20W46A, which was just released just a couple of days ago. It didn't have as many features introduced, but it did add powdered snow to Java Edition. So previously it was only in Bedrock, but they did add a couple other new features, as the powdered snow is now held in a bucket, and this is how you place it in the world. Now, another really cool feature is that if you go into game mode survival here, you will actually start to take damage as you start to freeze inside of the block here. So as you can see, the little frost indicator is slowly zooming in to my screen as well, and we will start to take damage just right now. As you can see, we actually have frost hearts, and it will slowly take damage. Now we can of course just go out here and the frost will slowly go away. Now, in the future, there will be a feature that you can use for leather armor that it will slow down, and I believe if you wear all of the leather armor, you shouldn't actually take any damage at all, but I believe it's broken at least in this beta. I'm not sure if that's supposed to be an intended feature or not, but the leather armor is actually supposed to not let you take damage, but of course we are taking damage right now. And the way you actually get the powdered snow in your bucket is by placing down cauldrons in snowy biomes where your snow will start to fall, and it will start to accumulate in these cauldrons, eventually filling up where you can use a bucket to pick it up and place it in your world. So it is a really interesting feature that's being added, and it's probably a really cool thing to slowly or prank your friends or something like that. It probably can also be used for mob farms as well. So there we have it, guys. That's all of the main features so far that have been introduced for the Caves and Cliffs update, and I'm super excited to see what comes next. We will definitely be covering it on the channel. If you do like these beta videos, make sure to like the video and maybe consider subscribing, because that will help out the video a lot. We also have Discord, Twitter, Instagram, all of that good stuff in the description below. And if you really do want to help our channel out, maybe consider clicking that join button to help our channel and help it with different things that we have. So thanks again for watching this video and have an amazing rest of your day.